things around. So we just have to give it a few minutes or a few seconds.
No problem.
There we go. Okay. Hello, everyone. We are back, and now we are live with Kenisha Nichelle. Hello, Kenisha.
Hello, hello.
Thank you for joining us. And I'm so excited that you're here, and I'm so excited that you decided to join SheisMe.
Yes.
And I will let you introduce yourself and let everybody know who you are, what you do, and what you're going to be talking about at the conference so they can get as excited as I am.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, thank you again, Lisa, for the opportunity to be a part of this event and to speak to your audience today. But again, I am Kenisha Nichelle. I am the founder of the Brighter Tomorrow Foundation, which specializes in supporting those who are navigating grief. I am one of those ones who have walked this journey many a times, and my story, in its culmination, I lost both of my parents by the age of 21. And so life hasn't been easy. It's definitely had its trials, its ups and downs. And I even say, too, when I get off of, the screen, I go back to a life without them. But I've been very blessed to be able to navigate the waters with time and tools, to be able to find what I call my winner within, and to be able to pick up those broken pieces to live life again after loss. And so at the conference, I will be talking about how to win from within, giving some self-care and self tools for women to be able to know exactly how to win at this game called life. We are all in this together. We have all had our own individual struggles and obstacles and things that we've had to overcome. But I truly believe that the life that we desire and the life that is meant for us is available. And so we just have to make sure that we have the proper mental wellness to go after those things. And so I will be sharing those tools. I'll be sharing more about my story and my journey as to how I was even able to get to this point. But I'm just grateful for the opportunity to be able to share and to even be on the other side of my pain.
Yes, thank you so much. It's so important. And I think one of the, what you touched on is finding that power within ourselves, right? Like that we all have it. And
Yeah.
it's so, I know for me, it was just smothered, right? It was just pushed down. You're too much. You're too powerful. You're too. So let's do everything we can to squash that down a little
Yeah.
bit. And when you don't have, like you said, you don't have your parents, or you don't have parents that are
Even available.
parents,
Right.
able to
You
parent.
can be alive and still not be active the way that you need them. So it
Right,
all,
right.
yeah.
There's so much that you need to learn and unlearn, like we talked about earlier. But I'm just glad that you're here to talk about all of that and to teach us some of those tools that you've learned and mastered and are able to share as Jamila said earlier, a wealth transfer, which I thought was such a great term, right? Like sharing my wealth with you, like
I
that
love
is
that.
amazing. So what inspired you to want to tell your story in the first place?
So it took a long time to get to this place. I knew that there had to be a reason. I was just like, there's no foreseen reason why my life would shape out the way that it has. Why would I be 21 and had to have buried both my parents? And I'm an only child. So I've had to go through this, essentially by myself, right? Not necessarily having a sibling right there going through it with me. And so I've just really have felt for all of these years that there had to be a bigger purpose. There had to be a reason. I don't think that something like that in its magnitude just happened by happenstance. And so it took me a while to get to the place to be able to tell the full story. I would dibble and dabble with starting to talk about it. For a while, I was just on the caregiver side. I would talk about being a caregiver to my mother with breast cancer and what did that look like for a college student, because I was comfortable with sharing that part of the story. And then once I got through that, I realized really in 2020 when we were hit with the pandemic, that, I had come through the painful part of my grief. Not that I still don't have the hurt and, the desire to have my parents here, but the wallow in my pain and just the can't see day from night. I had come through that part of it. So I started to openly talk about the grief part, and just what does grief look like, and how do you walk through that. And then I eventually got to, I guess, the catapult of the story, which was that, I was mishandled as a college student. I was a student athletic trainer, and I wanted to go home and see my family for the weekend just to get loved on, because I went to school an hour away from my hometown, and my coach told me I couldn't go home. And
Mm.
that was the day that I quit being a student athletic trainer, and that was the day that I attempted suicide. And,
Mm.
it took me a while to get to that part of the story, right?
Yeah.
Um, and I had to build up to it. But what I have finally realized, and the reason why I now share my story, is because there is relatability in vulnerability. And
Hmm.
that sometimes somebody just needs to hear that you have felt that way too, that life just seemed like it was just god awful, and I just didn't have anywhere else to turn. I didn't have anybody that I thought I could talk to. And so I now share that story because I want people to understand that it can hurt. Life can get you to a place where you feel like that. But also know that, whatever it is that you're facing, you can get through it. And so, even though the pain might be there and the thought may be there, there are also people who have come to the other side and are here and ready to listen. They're here with open arms, so that you know that you're not walking it by yourself. And so, for me, I just have finally got to a place where, you know what, I didn't go through that necessarily just for me. It's to be a testimony that, I can still live life again in spite of
Hmm.
everything that I have gone through. So that's
Yeah.
why I do this now.
Yeah, it's amazing. Um, what do you think is a key takeaway for the audience in coming to your talk?
The key takeaway, is, you just really said it, and it's the title of it, is that we have everything within us to win. And sometimes we feel that we don't. We feel that we are
Mhm.
missing something, that we have to go out and try to find something. We've got to get more accolades. We've got to get more recognition. But at the end of the day, what we need in order to survive life and to just have a good life that we deserve, it really already lies within us. And it's just recognizing that, if you're a mother, I am a good mother right now, right? I may not be perfect, but if my child is alive, right, then I must be doing something right. If you're married, and you're having a good time with your spouse, and you're still just each and every day moving forward, that's good, and
It's really good.
everything that you need already resides within you. But I just think that the biggest thing is just having the mental capacity of understanding that no matter what I'm facing, I know that I'll be able to get through it as long as I continue to believe that I can get through it. And
Hmm.
so, we'll dive into a couple of key takeaways, as I call the tools for success, to be able to recognize what it takes in order to have the proper mental wellness, in order to go after those things that you strive for, those goals, those dreams, so that you can be able to live a good life.
That's yeah. It's everything you said is so true. And one of the things that you touched on was knowing sort of knowing your purpose or knowing where you're going and how hard it is because you think you don't know and you think you
It's got to be more than what it
there's
is.
got to be more and you don't know what that is and you're always striving like what is it
Yeah.
I'll do this. And I was told for years like you have everything you need, like you
Mhm.
know where you need to go and you know what it is you need to do. And I was like, can someone just tell me please, because if you just tell me what that thing is, I will go and do it. Like I
Right.
will know. And they're like, oh, you have everything you need.
Yeah.
You've experienced everything for this purpose. And I was like, oh, if y'all don't tell me what it is,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna freak out, you know?
And a
But
lot of times, people just think that they have to find something, but we're all endowed with gifts and talents, right? It's the
absolutely.
things that come effortless. So when we start turning our eyes to what other people are doing, we feel that, oh, I could pick that up. But we don't have grace for those things. So
Right.
it's important to realize, okay, and I honestly think it does go back to childhood. What were the little things that you were doing that, you found effortless and that you could do with ease? And a lot of times that's where our purpose kind of comes from. That's where we get our biggest joys. And so, not to say we don't go to college and get degrees and do all the things, but a lot of times when we're looking for that purpose, when we're looking for that meaning of life, we can trace it back to our childhood. And it's just the small things. And I just
That's
think,
exactly it's exactly what I did. As I went back and I said, when they used to ask me what I wanted to be when I grew up,
yeah.
when I was little, and I would say President of the United States.
Come on now.
And they would say, you can't, you're a girl. And I would say, I don't
Mm,
care, I'll be the first girl then, and
that's right.
yeah. And then when I got to about 10 and they kept saying, no, no, no. And I said, okay, then I want to be an astronaut. And they said, well, you can't be an astronaut. So, now what? You should just be a nurse like your mom. I'm like, I don't want to be a nurse.
Right.
I don't want to be a nurse.
Yeah.
I want to be the first woman astronaut or the first president of the United States or the first,
Yeah.
And what I realized in sort of going back and analyzing that was that I just wanted to be a leader.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't know that that was
The
a
underlining
thing.
thing.
But I didn't know that I could be that. Right? I didn't know that I could be a leader.
That's good.
I thought I had to be a marketing executive or a, whatever. I didn't know that I could grow up and lead people through things and experiences and teach them and guide them and listen to them and, all the things that good leaders do.
Yes.
And now teaching leadership, it's like, why didn't anyone tell me that? Because it took me so long to sort of figure out what that was,
Right.
what that looked like. And it's kind of like, Dorothy, you could have gone home all along, just put your heels together.
Right. We didn't have to do this whole song and dance, but
yeah, but it's a journey. It's a journey of discovery and it's a journey of self.
Yes.
And it's so beautiful once you get there. It's just so beautiful. And then you can use your experience, strength, and hope to inspire and empower other women. And that's the prize. That is the prize right there.
That is. Really, it is.
So what would you like everyone to know about you that you haven't already told us?
If you didn't catch it, so I said, we're trying to win at the game called life. I am also a sports executive. So that's one of my other gifts, if you will. So I do produce, football games and basketball games, and just have had the pleasure of being able to be a part of Super Bowls and national championships and things like that. So I won't say in my spare time, but in my dual time, I do that. So I'm a sports girl. So when you come to my talk, don't be surprised if there are some references to sports. So I'm calling all of my NFL, NBA women to come and sit in with me so we can come and chat and talk about some sports too. But yeah, that's the other side of me. And I'm in a sports family. My husband is an athletic director. My daughter plays. So brings me joy. That is my one thing that has gotten me through the things that I've been through. So
I love that. So let's wrap up because I don't want to keep you here too much longer. But what was it that attracted you to SheisMe? And why did you want to be part of our movement?
Yeah. So the title, She Is Me, because again, when I was going through, right, I was in my darkest of days. I just felt like I was alone. I felt like I was the only person out of 9 billion people on the world. Like I'm the only one going through this. And so to hear the title, She Is Me, again, there's some relatability in that title. It says that whomever may be speaking, presenting, sharing their heart, I may be able to connect with her. I may be able to pull something from her story, from her journey, so that I can too get up and become better and do better and, have this magnificent life that I know that I deserve. So hearing the words, she is me, I'm like, no, that really resonates, because there's probably another woman that's going to be on the other side of this screen that may very well relate to losing a mother, relate to losing their parents, relate to people not wanting to support and be there with them, relate to still trying to figure out life when you've been beat up left and right. And
Mhm.
so I just wanted to have the opportunity to be able to share with another woman that you're not in this by yourself, that it may feel like that. And sometimes, at night, I think that's kind of one of the toughest times when going through seasons like this, that you feel like the walls are closing in and it's just me by myself. But in a space like this, you'll be able to see so many women with so many stories, to give you a reminder that you aren't by yourself, and that if they were able to get through, then you should be able to pick up a nugget, a word of wisdom, a gem from them, so you can hold on to that and get through too. So I just love the title and grateful for the opportunity to be able to be a part of it.
Oh, thank you so much, Kenisha. We are going to join Kenisha and 50 plus other women at the conference, October 22nd through the 27th. So please join us.
Please,
And thank you
please.
so much. Thank you so much for being here today. Stay on with me for just a second when we go off. I want to talk to you about something, but thanks everyone. Thanks for joining us today.
See you all
Bye.
soon.